What's up, guys? Mr. Free Coiner coming back to you again today. Hope you guys are doing well and taking care of yourself. All right, so wanted to get on here just talk about a couple things here. A lot going on, especially like yesterday we had a huge dip. It sent the market, the world events sent the market tumbling. And I guess when the U.S. actually goes out and it drops a few bombs on a few places, and yeah, it could possibly do that. And it may not be over. So a lot of analysts are saying that we could drop down into the $1.50 range. But that aside, I hope you guys were able to take advantage of the dip that we've already seen. It got down into $1.03 as far as XRP goes. Bitcoin dipped below the $100,000 mark, down to $98,000. And of course, the whole market really, everything dropped. We're kind of retracing or coming back up now. The 24-hour is mostly green. So yeah, it's very possible. However, we could see some further dips. But I'm going to get into more things, kind of in that vein here in just a second. I did want to talk about a few things. So we got Peter Brandt issuing an epic XRP price prediction. He doesn't really give a prediction, I guess, but it's just I guess he felt like fudding XRP, and he kind of does it in a roundabout way. But check this out. Legendary chartist Peter Brandt has the XRP community talking again. This time he's pointing to a possible head and shoulders top forming on the weekly chart. So he's saying that XRP is topping out. For Brandt, if traders see the April 7th price spike as a random anomaly, it looks like a classic topping formation. So what he's saying is that XRP is already topped. And he finishes up with, he doesn't really finish up, but this is the other part, because the rest of it just doesn't really make sense. The chart shows XRP recently dropping into a tight consolidation range with support just under the $2 mark, exactly where the neckline of this possible head and shoulders pattern is. If this is confirmed, it could mean that the late 2024 rally has reached its peak. All right, so he's saying that basically it's over, right? He's saying that we're going to break down from here and it's all over. So we know that's just definitely not the case. We haven't even begun to sing yet, right? We haven't even begun to fight. So the entire market, it's not over. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to another fudding opportunity by these people. Here's why the XRP price may crash below $1 soon. Well, first of all, XRP is not going back below $1. We know that, right? $2 is, that was. We were expecting that, I'll say. $1.50 possible. Usually these, extreme low prices are never actually confirmed because, it's like going back to the previous bull run back in 2021 when people were expecting Bitcoin to go back down to, $12,000 or $13,000. It's just not going to happen. Now that everyone knows, well, not everyone, a lot more people know about the asset. It'll never get down there. It won't have a chance to. All of the stop loss, or not stop loss, but all of the buys that are set up to take advantage of the low prices and whatnot. There's just no way it's going to get down there. Now, if it does, hey, it is what it is. Of course I could be wrong. I just don't think it's going to happen. Just imagine it gets down below $1 again. What world does that make sense in? At this point, who wouldn't go in and spend every dollar they have to stack up on XRP? No, there's just not going to happen. But see, these are tactics to make people lose confidence in XRP. That's the whole point. So moving on. Analysts put XRP cycle at high at $20 to $30. Here's why. Well, of course we know this is the typical expectation for XRP, and who knows, it could go higher. But the whole point is that XRP missed the last bull run because of the lawsuit. It has quite a lot of catching up to do. I mean, look at all the work they've done. Look at all the partnerships and everything that's going on with XRP. The fact that Flare is working very closely with XRP. It's then we have SGB. We have like all this going on. The XRPL is just growing nicely. I'll say very nicely. And then we have the RLUSD. I mean, there's too much there's too much activity going on around XRP, especially with XRP being at the center of it all. So XRP at $1 would be an absolute gift, and they're not going to give you a gift like that. They're just trying to shake people out. $20, $30, yeah, I can see that. And then there are things that are in the background we don't know about, right? One of the other things here, what's his name, Pumpius was talking about here. They're using war to flip the financial system, and XRP is going to be at the center of this. The new financial system, XRP is at the center of it. All right? Be ready. You got to understand what you have. You have to understand that. They want you to sell. They want you out of XRP. And, yes, we've waited a long time, but that was the whole point. It was to shake your confidence. There are a lot of people that fell off the train. There are a lot. I mean, just because you're confident in XRP and you're invested in XRP does not mean you don't invest in anything else. It doesn't mean that. I definitely invested in a lot of other tokens. XRP is just one of the mainstays. And when it finally takes off, we will be rewarded for our patience. That's just all there is to it. You have to be very, very smart about this, and also be careful about what you engage with, what you click on. There are a lot of scams out there, a lot of phishing, a lot of that stuff. I mean, I get so many phishing emails. It's absolutely crazy because, of course, my email, one of my emails got leaked to, buy Ledger, I think it is, and I'll never buy another freaking Ledger. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. People want your XRP. I read an article earlier, not an article, a comment where someone said that, somebody stole his XRP bag, like all of it, and that's, I mean, just imagine how horrible that would be. This is a it's a battle you have to constantly fight, and you have to be on top of your game all the time because there are a lot of clever tricks out there, a lot of clever tricks, and just be careful. Just be careful. That's my whole point. All right, so yeah, this whole thing going on in the Middle East, this is a distraction. They're resetting things. They're trying to induce as much fear as possible. So, people will be afraid to invest. Like, that's the point. They want the gap, they want the wealth gap to be as large as possible. It's up to you to not be on the losing end of it if at all possible. Okay? So just keep that in mind, guys. One other thing, too, is, this is something I mentioned in my last video. Just as well as the whole reset thing, the idea that Iran has been developing nuclear weapons. I mean, first of all, you got to understand the sites that they struck were civilian sites. I mean, could they be used as military, whatever? Possibly, but that's not what they were. And I personally don't believe Iran was needing to even make nuclear weapons. Why? Because they can buy them. Here we got North Korea is willing to provide nuclear weapons to Iran in order to secure lasting peace. I know the community note, but community notes, they can go somewhere. I've seen this talked about many times. Several different locations, several different people have mentioned that other countries have offered or are speaking about possibly selling Iran nukes. Now, whether good or bad, this is this is all planned. This is not anything dynamic. The people who actually, are behind all this, that run everything, these things are not. You got to understand, this is not. This is theater for us. This is to make us think that there's some rogue things going on out. No, that's not the case. Not the case at all. This is very well orchestrated. The only wild cards in the world it's just us, and that's the reason why we're so heavily surveilled. We're brainwashed and all this stuff. So they have to make sure that there's strict control over all of us. Hopefully the algorithm doesn't smack me down. But this is just something you need to understand. I mean, this is really what I came to understand or really realize yesterday, because do you know that before the strike, we reached out to Iran, letting them know that it was going to happen. And then even after it happened, it came to find out it was a nothing burger. There was nothing at these facilities anyway. So enjoy the theater, guys. Enjoy the theater. All right, so moving on. Now, something I wanted to talk about again, right? First, as I mentioned the other day, do not sleep on Flare. I'm going to say it again. Don't sleep on it. And the reason I'm going over this again because I forgot to go over the circulating and total supply. So XRP's circulating supply is around 57 billion or 56 billion, something like that. But look at Flare. Flare is at 67 billion. And the total supply is 103 billion, which is just slightly more than XRP. In fact, let's go ahead and go to XRP. We saw that. So XRP is at 58 billion. And the total supply, that's right, they've burned a little bit because it was at 100 billion. It was directly at 100 billion. The max supply here was 100 billion. They burned basically nothing, honestly, like nothing of any significance. But it's at $1.99. So when you look at that, right? You look at that and then you realize what is actually happening with Flare. And Flare, I think it's at 80. Was it at 80? Went too far. Yeah, 82. It's dropped down a little bit. It's only a penny. Okay, so just understand that anything could happen with this. Now, let's go to SGB. This is another one that's, and it's part of the Flare network. Yes, there were things promised when it comes to Flare that weren't met, right? That weren't met. But the work is being done, and there's a lot we don't see that's going on in the background. Now, SGB is basically for their test net. I mean, so they can test things using the coin. The value of this is definitely going to go up. But look at the max supply. Well, it says, the max supply is infinite, but now the total supply is 18 billion. Right? Circulating supply is at 15 billion. It came out when it first hit the market. It had gotten up to 50. Oh, I didn't even realize 64 cents. Okay, 64 cents. And look at the price now. So look at it like this. Even if it got to half of this, right, at the current price, do the math yourself. You can, spend very little and have a very nice return if it just gets to half of its highest highest price. Now, am I saying it's going to get there? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not saying it can't. I'm not saying it will. But we have a precedent. We have a precedent. We see where it was, and it's very possible that it could get back there. There's nothing really keeping it from that, other than, just the use case, I guess. I guess you could say. It's not like it's unknown. Okay, anything could happen, guys. That's what I'm just trying to tell you. We don't know where this bull market is going to take things. We have no idea. So me personally, I'm going to be as prepared as possible. I mean, SGB is at 752 million. I'm sorry, 72 million dollars. Just imagine if it just got to a half a billion, where it would be. And it's all very possible. Even if it got to we'll just say half a billion. That would absolutely rocket the price. I think. Let's see if we look at and the reason I'm talking about SGB is actually someone made a comment, and I had forgotten to talk about it the other day. Let's see. Is it? That's the only thing I don't like about. All-time high was 71 cents, actually. All-time low, 0.003, which is, near its all-time low. It does not say its highest market cap. But either way, just do the math yourself. You can see where this is, what can happen with this. And we'll know soon enough. All right. That being said, I think I've talked about Flare. I've talked about Flare before. One other thing I did want to show you guys. This is something right here. I was listening to Working Money channel, and he played this video, which is from Xrp Mom Moon, and it made a lot of sense because, again, this just goes to what I was saying. We don't know what's happening in the background. There's so much going on. The tokenization of real world assets. I mean, there's way more going on than we understand. But here, check this out, and you'll get it.
By the end of the year. Like guaranteed in your mind, like if it ain't done by 2 years, it doesn't matter. So the reverse carry trade, like these things that I've mentioned, these are catalysts that have to transpire. Like those things, how are they coming? They are on the doorstep. Are they inevitable? They are inevitable. So when that happens, XRP, I start to see it rise. My account's going, should I liquidate? Will it come back down once it's all stabilized, or will it remain that high and higher?
It'll remain that high and higher. And the reason for that is there'll be enough liquidity in it, like we talked about before, for these counterparties that settle transactions to do that all day long.
So it's going to remain high. So those people that are telling you, oh, get out at $10, $20, be very careful what you're listening to, because when this goes, it's going to keep going up and be sustained. So listen to Jake on this. He knows what he's talking about.
2,500.
Now, am I saying then that this is going to happen? Yeah, again, I don't know. I don't know where XRP is going to go. I know, me personally, once XRP hits about $10, maybe a little bit more, I'm selling something, right? I'm not going to offload everything, but I'm definitely going to pull some profit out because it's time. I mean, I've been waiting for a long time. People are, people I know, people in my family are looking at me like, man, what the hell is wrong with you? You've been waiting for years for this. Of course I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm not going to sit and just hold on to my bag and take a chance on it dropping back to, $2. I'm not going to do that again, right? I'm not going to do that. But am I going to have a moon bag? Absolutely. 20, 30, am I going to be looking for at least $20? Absolutely. I'm not selling everything at $10. I mean, probably not even half of what I have, but I'm going to sell enough that will absolutely take care of, because I have other coins, and that's why it's important to diversify. You don't want to just be in everything in one thing. You don't want that. And then you don't want everything on the same, in the same location. You got to spread it out, you know. But yeah, it's important to have other coins. So if you see something run up, then it can alleviate the need to sell so much of something like XRP, because we know where this is going. We know that it's going to go much higher than than the average other coin. So just keep that in mind. Anything could happen. I'm not saying this guy, Jake, is absolutely correct. Not by no means am I saying that. But anything is possible. So you have to shift things to the point, to a point where you can deal with it without having to, take yourself out of the market, and then you look back and go, oh, damn it, I screwed up. Now, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm giving my opinion on these things. I'm not telling you what to do with your funds, okay? I've had people tell me, you talked me into getting XRP and keeping it. I didn't talk anybody into anything. I'm here giving my opinion, and that's it. Just because you own XRP does not mean you can't own anything else. I have never just owned XRP. Is XRP my largest holding? Well, yes, it is. It is. But it's nowhere near all of what I have, by no means. I mean, I'm fairly well diversified. So, yeah, that's what I have to say there. And in case you have not done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button, as well as the like button and the post notification button, so you know when I've posted again. Guys, I really appreciate you coming back. I'm going to try to live stream tonight. I'll be looking for your well, I would say glowing faces, but I can't see your faces. So I'll be looking for you in the comment or in the chat box. And until next time, this has been Mr. Free Coiner. Take care of yourselves, and God bless.